Hello everybody and welcome to Wise Warrior's Path 2. Today I'm going to be training in almost a full suit of knight's armor for the Middle Ages. The only thing that I'm going to be missing is the leg pieces, and as well as the hand pieces, and as well as the chainmail that would go on the head. The reason why I'm not going to be wearing the chainmail on the head is because I'm going to be wearing a Sugarloaf helmet, and you're going to be seeing by the stuff that I'm wearing on my head is going to be made for mainly the helmet, so I can have padding. Now, a knight would have as well incorporated chainmail into his headpiece that would have been worn under the helmet, because the helmet would not always stay on when the knight would fight. He would take the helmet off because it restricted breathing and it restricted eyesight. So that means the helmet would have mainly been popular for the cavalry charge. And once the knight would have engaged combat, he either would have switched the helmet or he would have just taken it off altogether and would have used what he had under, leaving his face exposed. Now, it makes sense that he would only use this helmet for cavalry charges, but also there was knights that would have used different versions of this helmet or just would have worn this helmet for combat, but it would have tired him out more quickly and it would have restricted his eyesight. Now, in a role where he is supported and he is rolling in with different kinds of infantry, and he knows that his battle is going to be short and it's going to be to his advantage, he may wear the helmet, or depending on the clash or the sort of situation. But if you're going to be fighting all day in something like this, it's preferable that you don't, or you just take it off when you start to get very tired and you feel that the moment is right. So a lot of people have this idea that you would take these helmets to battle and that you would wear them all day, that you would go in the charges and you would as well dismount and fight in this. Because you got to understand that a knight would not just fight on horseback. In fact, a lot of knights would not fight on horseback altogether. They prefer to fight dismounted on foot because it was much more easier. Because when you are on horseback, you are a target, and if you're not a very good rider or not very good at recovering from falls and your horse gets shot out from right under you, it can be a very bad situation. So you're going to be seeing in this video that I'm going to be getting very overexerted. I'm going to be getting very tired. My breathing is going to be hard, and as well as my eyesight is going to be difficult. So some of my shots, I'm going to be missing them. Some of my moves are going to be sloppy. Sometimes I get a little tired, but then I catch on and I try to recover by being more faster, putting more speed into it, but that gets me more tired. But still, if you continue to train with this helmet, you will eventually get used to it. You will eventually find your limitations and overcome them. And as well as you know how to stay within those limitations so that you do not overexert yourself and begin to panic. Because when you're in battle and you got something on like this and you can't breathe, you begin to panic, you begin to try to rip your helmet off, and if you got something that is tied to your head, or tying the helmet onto your head, then you can panic and end up having a bad situation. And you can see that a lot when you see the medieval competitions even in today's times. A lot of people try to wear these helmets and they go for very, very tough battles that require a lot of heavy breathing and a lot of energy, a lot of exertion. And a lot of these people say that they just want to rip their helmets off because they can't breathe. And that's why knights in history would take off these helmets as soon as clashes became very heavy, or they would have certain designs or certain methods so they can breathe easier, or what they would also have is visors and certain versions of these helmets that they would lift so they can breathe, so that they can get a little bit of rest while other soldiers are fighting, or whenever they get the moment, and then when they go back into the clash, they drop their helmet again, or just try to leave the visor up as much as they can. So you got to understand those factors, take all that stuff into consideration when you try to repeat this stuff historically, because it can be dangerous. You can't overexert yourself. Your training partner may not understand that, and you can have a severe injury because you're tired and you cannot control yourself very well, and that could cause injury because you cannot coordinate very well. And you got to remember that a lot of these situations today, most of these situations, 100% of these situations, you're not trying to kill your opponent. You're just trying to have fun. You're just trying to train. You're just trying to become better. So please become aware of this stuff. Look at how these helmets were used, when these helmets were used, when it's appropriate to use them and when it's appropriate to take them off, and just what sort of replacements they would have used when they would have taken it off, if they would have just fought without any sort of head protection altogether. But you got to remember that whatever goes under will either have chainmail incorporated into it, some sort of leather padding, some sort of thick padding, which would have helped. So just to be reasonable, please pay attention to that stuff when you study the history. So enough of my blabbering, I'm going to get on to the video, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and this demonstration. Subscribe, show your support for this growing channel, and if you have any questions, leave them below. Until next time, take care and goodbye. Enjoy the video.